Following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
It is that one time a season where we get to turn left and right on the GLSR Downrange Transport Premier Series season. Tonight, it is the Sonoma Raceway. It is one of the rare tracks in all of the seasons that we've seen in the trucks, and now the Premier Series entering its third season that we have never been to, believe it or not. Wine Country, Sonoma Raceway in the Napa Valley area just north of San Francisco, California. That is where we are for race number 6 of this GLSR Downrange Transport Premier Series as we welcome you in here on the Captain Esports Network. I am the Captain. We appreciate you joining us here on this Wednesday evening as we get you ready for some road racing here at Sonoma. This 11-turn course produces a lot of ups and downs, literally. You go up a hill and you crest up there towards the turn 4 area, and then from there it's a downhill run all the way back to turn 11 and the start-finish line on a track that's actually in real life just been repaved and has made headlines because of maybe not the best of repaved jobs. But either way, I think we're going to see some great racing here this evening, a very technical course, and I think one that you're going to see We're going to see our spins. We're going to see some contact, and we're going to see a lot of wheel spin because this track does not have a lot of grip in it. It is one of the older surfaces here. But what I've seen in practice, looks like a lot of cars going out and doing a pretty good job here for the most part throughout the practice as we look down upon the track out here in the valley. Of course, the setting here is in like the summertime. That's why you see the yellow grass and stuff. Believe it or not, right now, though, it is perfectly beautiful in this area. As a matter of fact, I've come to a conclusion with some others that we should be racing here NASCAR-wise, like at this time of the year when all the grass is green. And, yeah. Speaking of green, we'll be a few minutes away from getting the green flag momentarily, but let's take a look at the point standings. Last week, Jonathan Tuckness going to victory lane and scoring his third win already in the last couple of weeks as he won at Charlotte Motor Speedway in kind of a comeback fashion, but he was able to get the victory, holding off Alphin and Stephen Miles. There's Miles there in second, and you see Justin Michael, who's also got a win in his first 4 starts here in the third position. Lucas Strayer, the best of the rest right now. Tyler Pluff, Brandon Alphin, Alex Bryson, Fontaine, Ladisor, and Peyton Johnson, your top 10 right now in the standings. Of course, 12 drivers will go to the playoffs this season, which has an extended race, by the way. 5 races now in the playoffs. So, obviously, a lot of time to go here as we're just past the halfway point. But tonight, a crucial part in the schedule in the season as we hit a road course. And remember, win and get in. And there are plenty of drivers without a win right now that could use a victory tonight. And this would be one that you could sneak your way in, especially if you're good at turning right or left or just good at this Sonoma Raceway. If you watched earlier, I put out a YouTube short, been starting to do those in the last couple of days, and I kind of told you a couple of drivers who could be ones to watch as we get ready to go into qualifying. One being Brandon Alphin. Of course, Brandon here at Sonoma, of all places, is phenomenal. I don't know what it is about him, but he is good on road courses in general, even though his iRating might not show that on the road. But when he shows up at Sonoma, there's just something about this track that he knows, and he's able to usually lead pretty well. And as I look over here at the standings, guess who's fastest in practice right now? It's Brandon Alphin. Diego Sainz looking pretty good in practice. Sam Fontaine, another driver. Of course, he is one of the winningest drivers on road courses here in GLSR, so he's going to be one to watch. Kind of shocked in a way by Stephen Miles being up there. Miles is not usually the best road racer. He doesn't have much experience on it, so I wouldn't say he's not one of the best on the road racing circuit as much as I would say he's not as experienced maybe. But he's definitely showing some speed and probably getting some great advice there from Alphin. But Sean Peachin, of course, last season went to victory in his first win in the series at Road America. So he knows how to get around these road courses also. But let's take a look before we get into qualifying here. Hot Lap's about to kick off Sonoma tonight. Then we go to the latter half of our schedule before we get to the playoffs. It is IRP next week, and then we go to Gateway to start May, Talladega, Richmond, and then, of course, the usual Prehistoric Forest 200 at the Michigan Speedway before we get in to playoff mode. As you see Barney over there waving the checkered flag. We're going to do a couple interviews after qualifying because we actually get an extra 5 minutes here, and I'm sure a lot of guys are going to get out here right away and run a couple laps. And so we should be able to sneak 1 or 2 interviews in, hopefully, before we go to the anthem. Not to mention it's going to be a long pace lap to get back here to the start of this race here momentarily. So appreciate everybody joining us, and should be fun as qualifying about to begin. Looks like Jason Dalton might be one of the first ones out on track because we kick off Spicy Schemes Hot Lap. This, of course, is Sam Barnes's cup of tea, if you will, the Spicy Schemes. And you can, of course, win some money by winning the pole for this evening's race. Thanks to Spicy Schemes for what they do. Thanks to Sam for all these awesome-looking paints you see out here on the track, and so on and so forth. Sam does a phenomenal job. And need I say, very creative, by the way, too, in what he does with his paint schemes. And I hope he's doing well. I don't see him here tonight unless he got in here at the last minute. I know he's got a little one there at home, so sometimes it's easy for him to get in here. But as we all know, with little ones, they can be unpredictable. And might not be here tonight, so we'll have to There he is. I was looking for him over here in Discord. I'm like, where is his message? I got these little reads that I do and stuff, and sometimes I can't find them because I can't find the people on Discord. But basically, $5. We'll go to the driver that wins the poll here in just a second, and they'll be in the clash for next season. And then, not to mention, a paint will go to the driver with the most polls this season. So it's a pretty cool deal that Barnes is doing. All right, let's go to the track now. I get that out of the way. And by the way, tonight, a special event. As you might have heard, there is a new sponsor in this series, Spoiler Diecast. Well, guess what? They are now a part of the race tonight. It is the Spoiler Diecast Grand Prix here at Sonoma. Big shout out to them. If you look in the race information section here on YouTube, you just go down to the bottom there where it gives you the broadcast info and stuff. You look down there is a link and a little special there for you. If you type in GLSR in the purchase there, when you go to purchase an item from Spoiler Diecast, you get a little discount there. $5 off, I believe. I want to make sure I get this one right because I've had so many things going through my mind here when it comes to reads and stuff. There's a little discount deal there for you. As here's Dalton crossing the line right now, and he is going to be the first one to complete a lap. Let's get the times up here on the board. Dalton with a 1:18.9. It's a pretty sporty lap. But Alphen, 1:18.3. Dalton second. Michael now up to third. As I mentioned, Brandon knows how to get around this track pretty daggum well. Let's get you some car audio, too. Down the section to turn number 3, or turn 4 right here. And then a shortcut 5 and 6, which is the carousel section of the track into turn 7. Sharp right-hander into the S's. On a track that, on consoles, I was actually pretty good at racing. Yeah, check out, by the way, if you put in GLSR, check out 5% off and free shipping on orders over $20. That's the deal there. So make sure you go get yourself a diecast car there at Spoiler Diecast. Through the S's, Dalton to turn 10 here. Not really much full throttle time as Fontaine goes to the top with an 18. Will the second lap be the fastest? Only time will tell here right now is we're going to see how these guys do as they come across the line. Alphen actually goes to pit road, so his lap's going to be done. As Dalton crosses the line, and he actually is going to be slower, it looks like. A 1:18.3. Yeah, everybody kind of done after one lap here, so this will give us a chance now while qualifying goes on. Fontaine out there on track right now. Let's see Jonathan Tuckness, hottest driver right now in the circuit. Let's check him out. That McConey setup shop 94 car, and while we ride with him, let's see if Brandon, I might be able to get a word with him. It's going to be tough to talk to some of these guys as some of them are in other Discords and stuff. Diego Sainz is off the track, looks like with an 18.2. So let's talk to Diego first as we bring the 44 car up here. Diego, you got a copy, bud?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So let's talk a little bit about this road race. Get a few extra minutes here as qualifying is going. Got a 5.5 minutes complete. Obviously, it looks like right now P2 as we watch Tuckness cross the line here for his qualifying lap. How tricky is it out there with this slick surface?
It's so slippery. I know it's going to be a time management race, but off exit and acceleration, you are going to be sliding. You have to go like 40% throttle. You can't go straight 100 because then you'll into the wall.
Skirt, right? So
basically.
So let me ask this question. Obviously, how much trickery, and when I use by the word trickery, I mean like short shifting, little tricks like that are you doing to prevent wheel spin?
I ain't gonna give away my whole strat. I'm using
Hey,
just a little bit of short shifting. I'm making sure to stay in second and not even gonna touch one.
well, which is usually second and third gear predominantly here. In fourth gear, is it still fourth gear pretty much through 10 or just before you get to 10 in that little short shoot in 10 to 11, and then you're back to third gear?
You can use fourth when going up to 1 just to get like a a faster entry,
Mhm.
but after that, I don't use 4 at all.
Wow. I mean, I remember back in the day when I ran this on the console, I could actually run it just like they used to in real life with the old car, where you barely used fourth gear. You didn't use first at all. It was all second and third gear the whole entire time. Well, hey, best of luck, man. Looks like you're starting second here, unless Tuckness can lay one down, which he's 15th. So, looks like you're starting P2 as of right now, and nobody else is on track. So, congratulations on that.
Congratulate Sam, because he's gonna be fast. It's gonna be a 3-way battle, I think.
I think it's going to be a few cars up there at the top. I mean, a lot of you guys, I mean, first through six within 0.8 of a second. So.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Hold on. Uh-oh.
So, I think there's going to be a pretty good race amongst you guys tonight. So, best of luck, buddy.
Hope I don't crash again.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Diego signs the outside pole sitter here tonight. Appreciate his time. By the way, did Cam get in trouble or something? I see Cedric's hood.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'll let someone else fill you in,
Oh,
but
good
really, it's just
grief.
it's free camo. Okay, it's gonna be free camo. I
Right.
know he is free, but
I get it. I got it, buddy. All right,
we
good
can
luck.
talk more if I get top 3.
All right,
Talk more about it if I
good,
get top 3.
good luck, buddy. I saw that on Cedric's hood. I'll have to show that later on. But apparently Cam got in trouble for something. I don't know what, but he got in trouble for something. Let's talk to what looks to be our pole sitter tonight here at Sonoma, and that is going to be Sam Fontaine, looking for that first win of the season. Sam, we know how good you are on the road course, obviously, as we go back to that historic race you had at Charlotte, holding off the driver's name just slipped my head, but the when you got there to get into victory lane the first time on a road course and holding that driver off. You've won many races at Motegi and other tracks that off the top of my head I've forgotten, but here you are now on the pole and a chance to win out here in Sonoma.
Yeah, just gonna try our best. I mean, we have really, really fast drivers. Diego, Brandon, Olfen, even Miles is doing great. I mean, all those guys are gonna be really hard to beat, and since we go on green, it's gonna be a tough battle for that lead, and we have a long way to go after that. So we'll see how it goes.
Tire management, that is going to be the key word here tonight. Of course, a timed race, going to get one stop to pretty much figure out what you've got in this race. How much is that going to play a role?
I mean, that's gonna be like the big key, is like just managing your stuff. You don't want to put your car sideways at all. The rear tire is gonna be a big deal, and we will see through the race who's sliding and who's not, and for how long they're gonna be able to keep it straight. So that's gonna be a long race, and gonna try our best.
I see the tires still don't move in turn 11, so that should be interesting. Yeah, so, I mean, something just crossed my mind because I think of just weird things sometimes. So, there's not a chance tonight that we see 2 stops for tires be the advantage, is it?
I mean, we might see it, but I think that's gonna be an unusual strategy. Let's say it that way.
A little unorthodox.
Yeah. Like the pit road is so long here.
That's
I think
true.
the delta is really, really too long for what you can gain. But at the same time, depending if people like practice for a really, really long run and know exactly how much the fall off is for them. So we'll see. We'll see that later in the race. We might see 2 stop. Who knows?
We'll see. But hey, you're the Spicy Schemes Hot Lap winner. Enjoy that $5, and I don't know how much that is up there, but enjoy that $5, and congrats on the pole.
Yes, thanks, man.
Absolutely. Sam Fontaine, the pole sitter here, as we are going to go trackside for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, anthem is done. Let's go trackside. Or I should say trackside. Let's go to the track as we get ready for some racing here at Sonoma Raceway and show you the starting lineup. For some reason, Cedric's name is... Anyways, Sam Fontaine winning the pole over Diego Sainz there in row 1. Brandon Alphin, Stephen Miles there, row number 2. Jason Dalton, Alex Bryson, row number 3. Justin Michael, Cam Ingram, row 4. Sean Peach and Jacob Thornton are taking row number 5. Row 6, Tyler Pluff and Joey Ladisor in row number 6. Row 7 is where you see Tanya Sutphin, Dylan Rosenberg, Jonathan Tuckness, who's won the last 2 races. He'll start inside Lucas Strayer. Luke Simonson, Blaine Sparling, Ethan Gregory, Cedric Ingram, Tyler Brewer. None of those guys ran qualifying laps as they will round out the rear of this 21-car field in the spoiler diecast on Prix. Race information tonight. It is 72 degrees, partly cloudy skies, a little bit of wind. It is a 75-minute race, so a timed race here at this track with laps about a minute 20 around here. Of course, the league presented by Downrange Transport, but tonight the spoiler diecast on Prix here at Sonoma. That is, that's a battle box or something that's popping up over there, but that's exactly what it is. But anyways, all right, well, let's bring them to the green here on the Captain Esports Network through turn 11 up through turn 12. Fontaine takes the left side lane, which can be tricky because if Sainz can hold the lead here through turn 1, it's a right-hander to turn 2, and he could get the advantage as we're green. Up the hill they go to turn 1. There's that left-hander, and here's turn 2, and Fontaine's able to clear. Off and up to third, first 4 single file. And, of course, our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. As Sean Peachin having some issues already, kind of gone off track there. Putting wheels off, and Justin Michael goes around off the 5 at a 360 for him. As he carries on. Through the turn 10 and turn 11 section, Sainz putting the pressure on Fontaine as he will lead lap number 1. Up the hill to turn 2, you see Alphin. He's going to be the one to watch here tonight. He's got Morgan Wallen on that scheme. The words "poor me" on the right side, and we got trouble over here. Turn 1, one car on its hood. Yeah, it's Cedric Ingram that's over here on his hood. Lucas Simonson's already gone to pit road. And Cedric is all types of upside down over here. And he toes the pit road. We'll get a replay here in a second. I'm actually still trying to fix that issue over here with the why that is showing up all of a sudden on my stream. I've not seen that before. Anyways, back to where we are as Alphin has gone to second. And And again, no cautions at all tonight. They are straight racing the whole entire time here. I think it fixed itself. Maybe. As Alfin almost gets in the back of Fontaine. As we complete lap number 2. Hopefully that'll fix itself there. All right, let's go back to the replay here. Blaine Sparling also involved. There's Justin Michael, who had just had the issues with the 5. So go through turn 12 here. It's very tricky to go 2x2 there, and they make contact in a ricochet. Oh, man. Strayer barely missing as the 19 and 49 collide. There's one car coming in hot. And Simonson behind the wall. That is not the easiest section to go side by side in, and Michael had to move to the outside. And Simonson with a Napa Red Bull Pepsi looking paint scheme. I say Red Bull because the 49 looks like a Red Bull number. And they just into each other there, and it just ricochets him out. I mean, Strayer actually looks like maybe had a little contact in the door, but for Cedric Ingram, I mean, on his lid. Let's come on board with Sedge here. Unfortunately, you get these practice laps, and you get roughed up on lap 1. That is never the way you want to end a road race or a race that you practice hard for. I mean, nowhere to go. I mean, my camera's... Yeah, there goes that thing. We have lost a rear bumper. Gravitational, pulling it through the track. All right, so up front, Fontaine still holding the lead on Alfin. Diego Sainz third. We haven't really had any other issues outside of that. Thornton's been off really quickly, and then it looks like Ethan Gregory went off track. Otherwise, everything else is pretty good so far. Sainz putting the pressure on the 21 right now. Miles back and forth. Alex Bryce in the 5th. Is everybody pretty close together for the most part here. Here's Jacob Thornton riding behind Sean Peachin up to the 8th position. I've always said in my road racing that you keep it on the track, you'll get a top 10 finish. But with this series, I'm not so sure that's going to be a fact here. Because, I mean, you got a phenomenal battle going right here, the top 3 right now. And this track, very tough to pass. You have to hit your marks and try to get to where you can, just like Alfin is right now. Got the run through 3A up to turn 4 and not able to get the run there as Fontaine sent it in there pretty deep. And Alfin going to dive it to turn 7, not able to get the run as he drives it down the S's. You can just hear how technical you got to be with the throttle. Down this hill, you get some wheel spin right there. You get it 4th gear about right here if you're fast enough. And you're right back to 3rd through turn 10, which is an off camber corner that could easily slide you off in that outside barrier there. And then turn 11, which is the horseshoe, if you will, as Alfin slides right underneath Fontaine. As Fontaine got loose entering the corner, they're going to drag race through turn 12. And he's able to hold him off. As Justin Michael with problems again. And by the way, those tire barrels in iRacing don't move. You hit those things, you're like done. We go down to turn 4. There's the carousel entrance right there. Goes down to the turn 5 and 6 section. The one thing I'm going to say right now, Fontaine looks a little more out of control, if you will, than Alfin does. Alfin looks like he's got his car under him, where Fontaine looks like he's just sliding around and not hitting his marks purely, and I think that's what's allowing Alfin to get the run. He's just not able to complete the pass yet. See if Alfin makes a dive here to turn 11. This is probably the one section, if you're going to make a pass, as Alfin kind of pushes him up the track a little bit. As they drag race to turn 12 again. No pun intended. There is a drag strip, by the way, right there. They used to use that strip as part of the racetrack back in the day, as Ethan Gregory has gone off track and looks like he's taking his car to the pits, or at least he did, or maybe blinked out or something. I'm not sure what's going on there. Diego Sainz has passed Alfin for second. And you see the battle in between those three cars have brought Miles, Bryson, and Jason Dalton into the picture. Alfin sends her back in there and is going to lose the back end and go around and saves it. Just a lazy slide for the 21. That's going to hurt the rears. Maybe some wheel hop here. We'll have to see. Maybe rear end, too much rear brake. I didn't hear that ba 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 noise that you usually hear when you wheel hop. He does do that, just that lazy spin, but able to keep it going and keep himself right there in position, but unfortunately he's going to need to cool those tires off big time now. As Alfin has fallen back to the 6th position, as he and Dalton battle here is already 10 minutes into this race almost. This is a new tradition that the series started when Sean Peachin took over the series from Travis Icovanci, as he instituted timed road races. And that's something they've done the last 3 seasons here at 75 minutes. The good news about tonight's race, it's the one race on the GLSR schedule. I can say, hey, I'll be done at this time. By the way, for those watching on the stream, you might notice there is a question up there in the top right that you can answer. If you're here tonight watching, cheering on somebody, who are you cheering on? Or who would you like to see win this race? You can answer that in the comments, or otherwise just chat it up. I don't care. But I appreciate you joining us, as always, here on the Captain Esports Network. You watch Joey Ladiseur battling with Jonathan Tuckness and Justin Michael behind them. Jonathan starting way back in the 15th position. Justin Michael is up front, but unfortunately he's lost a lot of track position. 2 of the 3 winners we've seen on the season so far. So we're putting 2 off over there at turn 3A, and into turn 4, Michael takes advantage of the lack of grip on this track, and that's because it is a worn. I mean, the surface here, I mean, it got repaved in real life literally just a couple months ago. Of course, they've had the issues, hence the Hamlin and Marcus Smith banter back and forth on social media. But the last time this track was repaved, and I have to double check myself here, I believe it was back when they reconfigured this track, which would have been like 99, 2000 when they put that short chute in to the track. As Jonathan Tuckness is going to come to pit road here. Is this the first of this potential strategy that I brought up earlier of 2 stops? You pit now and then pit maybe at 30 minutes to go in the race and go the rest of the way to the finish, or this is going to be interesting. I mean, he's got nothing to lose. He's in the playoffs with the win and in situation. Right side tires on. Left side, he pulls away 14.9. As up front here, Sainz putting the pressure on Fontaine. Alphen has been stuck back there in the 6th position there since the spin. As look at this, here's a battle, Sean Peachin and Cam Ingram. Sean with the run down to turn 11. See if Cam lets him go here, if he's going to fight him off the corner. Down to turn 12, going to get close here, and Cam lets him go. So move Sean Peachin up to the 7th position. Just a reminder again, the Spoiler Diecast Grand Prix, you can go down into the broadcast information section down below the picture here, and you can find out how to get a little discount on your price of a diecast car, and also how to get free shipping and more just by typing in GLSR when you go to SpoilerDiecast.com. So make sure you check out that deal right now as we welcome them aboard the GLSR series. So there's your leader, Fontaine. He's got Sainz right there on his rear. Stephen Miles about 2.5 seconds back of these two in third. Alex Bryson right behind him. And then it's Alphen who got by Jason Dalton just a second ago for the 5th position. Let's review the pass here as they go up the hill to turn 2. A very tricky corner right there, and Alphen just able to clear the 2, and I think Jason might have just kind of yielded the spot to him. As most of the field now just spread out, just kind of logging laps. You can go about 35 or so laps on a tank of fuel that Strayer having off there for a second as he runs back in the 16th position. Looks like he's going to be okay, but he did lose a position. Let's see what happened. This turn 10 section right there, you can see how he just kind of slides in that off-camber area. Oh, and he just locks it up under braking in turn 11 and just goes for a lazy spin. And carries on. Alex Bryson here, the 4th position. Looking back there at Alphen, who's got Dalton right there on his tail. I think if you're Brandon Alphen right now, you just got to be patient and let the tires just kind of understand that, yeah, you've hurt the tires with that spin. Get to that pit stop and then make your move and potentially go get the lead, because you saw how Brandon was one of the faster cars at the beginning of the race before that spin obviously hindered him. Back here, Tanyan Sutphin, the 7 car. He's in a fight with Dylan Rosenberg. Position here. And by the way, that curve in turn 4 is fun to hit, by the way. Let's just put that out there. That thing is as high as it looks too. You just don't see the cars in real life in it because obviously the diffuser and all that different stuff on the car now, you don't want to really hit the curves as much. But back in the the heyday of the old car. You used to be able to hit that bump and you just go flying on that rumble strip. Kyler Brewer having a little fun out there in that Pro Sim West car. He had an off there a second ago. As Justin, oh, Michael's blown up. Oh, a bad night gone worse for the 87 car. As now I see nose damage. He's come into the series and already got himself a win and some great finishes, but tonight not going to go well for the 87 car. I did not see what caused him to... Oh, he spins it over here, turn 10. Nails the tire barrier over there, and boom goes the dynamite. Get another vantage point of this. He just gets two wheels off and it spins him around, bam, into the barrels. Everybody doing a good job to avoid him, but the 87 going to be done for the night. When you have a win, this is one of those you just kind of shake off and say, all right, I'll see you guys next week, and move on. And the signs continuing to put the pressure on, but as we all know, Mr. Fontaine is tougher to pass than a kidney stone. Tougher to pass than two cars on the interstate holding up traffic. Signs fighting that wheel. You heard him say he was not using first gear at all, which not so much of a bad thing there. Kind of keeps the wheel spin from happening, especially out of turn 11 there. Up through the gears, up to turn 1 here. Climb the hill, want to be as far left as you can here, because look at this is a blind turn 2. And Sainz sends it in there. Down the crest of the hill here at turn 3 and then 3A. You want to try to hop this curve as much as you can. And a blind exit. You gotta be careful with throttle here because you can slide right off the track right there. Down turn 4, hop this curve. Or not. Wide apex to turn 7. Now, why they don't turn right over here in the other section there, I don't know. Apparently, they stuck that island out there, and you got to go around it. Through the S's here, very technical. Got to be able to hit every mark right. Of course, I'm sitting there telling you how to drive this track, but yet, if I got on iRacing and drove it right now, it'd be bad. Turn 10, and there's pit road right there. Sign's going to try to drop under him here, not able to do so. This track used to have what they called Gilligan's Island, believe it or not, back before the repave, and they kind of redid this track. There used to be a pit road right over there to the right of the screen where that building is, called Gilligan's Island. And it was for those who started towards the back of the field and had those pit stops. Believe it or not, it was the only time that I know of where if you pitted during a race and your pit stall was over there, you had to actually sit for, I believe it was 15 seconds or so after your pit stop because of the advantage you would gain on that pit road, being on Gilligan's Island there. And they actually would hold you for a certain amount of time and then let you go after the pit stop. And of course, they got rid of it, and now we got one long pit road and so on and so forth. Ooh, Sainz with a good run here through the S's. Right up to the back bumper. Coming up on Tyler Brewer. Who just goes left and gets out of the way. Big shout out to the viewers watching here tonight, who's checking us out here on the Captain Esports Network. The GLSR Spoiler Diecast Grand Prix in the Downrange Transport Premier Series, race number 6 here tonight. And 4 races to go in the regular season after this race. As Signs hold on there, had to get that car under him, almost chirped the tires and almost went around. As these two have now pulled away. In third place, Stephen Miles, Alex Bryson up to 4th. And back here to Jonathan Tuckness. Remember, he was just on pit road at lap number 9. And he's going to fly by Lucas Strayer, who I think might be just on a Sunday joyride. Of course, he's got the fresher tires here, so now lap times, obviously, he's just about the same as the leaders. He's doing okay with that, but obviously just doing what he can to get some track position here, and this is one way you can do it. I mean, the question obviously here for the 94 is, does he go, what, 30 more minutes, or 20 minutes, I should say, get to pit road, get the final set of tires, because you can't pit more than once, and then try to two-stop this way to the best finish you can get. The problem with that is he is all of a long ways back. As a matter of fact, let's throw up the track map here for a second. The leader is over here at turn 2 at the top of the screen. Tuckness is all the way where the 94 is over here in the S's. Fontaine cannot shake the 40. This reminds me of that Charlotte race. I referenced it during the pre-race. It was Jonathan Smith was the driver's name. Had by far the fastest car that day. And there was at that time a caution that randomly came out. And, or I'm sorry, it was a picked lap number. I'm sorry. And Fontaine pitted before the caution. Caution comes out. Smith pits under the caution. Fontaine gets ahead as Smith goes roaring through the field. Catches Fontaine with about 10 laps to go in the race, if I remember correctly. And somehow Fontaine holds him off for 10 laps straight. It was one of the more impressive things I've seen a driver do on iRacing when it comes to defending. And ended up winning that race. And from there, obviously, he went on and became one of the winningest road racers and one of the winningest drivers here in this series so far. And, well, here's part 2, as he's had to hold off first Brandon Alphin and now Diego Sainz for the first 25 minutes of this race. Let's go back here to, oh, as Bryson locks him up a little bit there. All the wheel smoke. Brandon Alphin there behind him. Alphin doing actually when I look at these lap times, very impressive job for a couple of these cars, obviously still not losing too much speed as we've completed 20 laps this time by. Alphin has not lost much time. You know, he went for a little bit of a lazy spin earlier. And a lot of guys only running about a second or so off of their fastest lap. were still on pit road, so he must have went for 4 tires, fuel, a diaper change, and maybe a bottle for his little one. So you still got about 12 minutes or so before the halfway point. Actually, 10 minutes before the halfway point. Half of 75 is, what, 37 and a half minutes. So you got about 9 minutes before the halfway point. So you still got about 10 or so laps on fuel. And at a minute 20 right now, you're looking at about 4 to 5 laps. I assume you come right at halfway and get the tires and fuel. You try something different and get tires later. Do you short pit like Tuckness did? I mean, if so, you've kind of run out of that option. If you're going to pit here in about 9 minutes, like I said. So, I mean, there's so many different options you can do here. Now, which one's the winning one? I think you just got to stay kind of status quo and pit it halfway, to be honest. But Signs is there. Diego's doing a really a little bumper to him. Diego's doing a really good job of apex in the corners. I mean, he's literally, if you watch him, he's real smooth on entry, right down to the apex and drives it off the corner. He's using every part of the track you can use, which is kind of a key to road racing that somebody like me just doesn't think about when I'm out there driving. I'm more just worried about wrecking the car. But watch how, I mean, right here, hopping that curve, drives it right down here to the apex of turn 2. As they always say on road courses, apexes and exits. Problem for me is half the time I can't find the apex and I don't know how to exit. So the only exit I know how to do on a road race usually is the exit out of the race. Check back here is Tyler Plouffe and Joey Lanosaur. This is the 10th and 11th position here. Jacob Thornton up ahead of them in 9th, having a good run. Dylan Rosenberg about 8 seconds back. Out there on his own little island, if you will. Hate to see the rough run for Blaine Sparling in the 14th position. Got one of his best career finishes on a road course at Canadian Tire a few seasons ago, but Blaine might have that damage, not to mention lost a lot of time with that wreck with Cedric Ingram at the beginning of the race. And by the way, one thing tonight I should mention, it was talked about today, but there is no halfway yellow in this race tonight. Of course, back in the rules this season as Plouffe almost went around there. Back in the rules this season, of course, the halfway break, basically, if there was no caution in the first half of the race, you get the yellow as like a competition yellow. That has been waived, no pun intended, tonight. And it is straight up 75 minutes of racing. These two, I mean, I just keep checking in on to make sure. Oh, Fontaine, there's that mistake. And Sainz maybe can take advantage here with spin and drag racing. Oh, Sainz returned a favor to him. Made a mistake himself. And Fontaine holds him off. Yikes. Oh, Diego's probably cussing himself out right now. Ah, fifth. 6th and 7th getting all kinds of interesting all of a sudden here. 4th, 5th, and 6th, I should say, as Alfin has gone past Alex Bryson. Jason Dalton right there behind him. These guys have 15 seconds on Sean Peachin. As Tuckness back on pit road. I think that's a little early for somebody trying to two-stop strategy, but from here, maybe he feels like he can go the rest of the way on fuel, so I don't know. Hey, when you have 3 wins, you can do whatever the heck you want. You could technically park the car and walk away tonight if you wanted to. Appreciate everybody watching tonight. The Spoiler Diecast Grand Prix. As Tuckness 14.8 second stop back on track now. So I'm assuming he's going the rest of the way with fuel and tires here. The question is, when do these guys right here come to pit road? These two have been fighting the whole entire race for the lead. You can only imagine how worn out these guys are going to be after this race. Such a technical road course that, as you see, there's no room for mistakes. Move Fontaine locking the right front up just a little bit. AB and Dolphin here, or Dolphin, Alphin. Sometimes when you mix the word and Alphin at the same time, and Dolphin. Rosenberg and Tannen Suffin back together again as they fight for 12th. These guys doing exactly what I would do, because I would be running about back here with these guys on a road course. As simple as this. Keep the car on the asphalt. Usually you get out there if you're running a road race in, if it's a hosted series or, oh, Tanyan, or an official race or something like that, the best thing you can do is just keep it between those yellow lines. And I bring that up from this standpoint here. I have 2 road wins. I honestly don't remember the second one. But the first one I remember is the win I took in a Mazda race. And it was at Lime Rock. And, of course, this is when you're a rookie class license. You get 10 cars usually. And you run, I think it's a 10-lap race around Lime Rock. And it's a standing start as Tuckness back on pit road. So, I don't know. He's experimenting. Let's call it like that. He's got some right side damage. And left side damage. Race went green. I literally, every time I ran the race, would wait 10 seconds. Or 9, 10 seconds. About 2 to 5 seconds. And cars would take off in the standing start. Finally, I would go. As Thornton looks like is on pit road now. So here we go with the pit stops, it looks like. And basically what I would do is just watch the cars wipe themselves out. And the one race it actually worked, where Everybody was pretty much wrecking on the first lap. I took the lead, led the race, and held off a comeback by the guy who finished second. I obviously don't remember the name of the guy. As we got people blinking here all of a sudden. I mean, they were catching me, yes, but they didn't have enough time to catch me. I kept it on the track and won the race. Do what you got to do. As Alphin, Bryson, and Dalton come to pit road here, 37 minutes to go. We're at the halfway point. And again, the second one, I don't remember. Honestly, I don't. I'd have to go look it up and see what it was. Four tires, right side's going on, left side's. As back there, the Sean Peachin car, Cam Ingram on pit road, Joey Ladasur, a lot of cars coming in right here at the halfway point. And this pit road is very inviting, by the way, to pull a sneaky move if you're up there in the front. And I say that because let's watch them come to turn 10 here as Fontaine's starting to pull away. You can look, it looks like you're going to turn 11, and all of a sudden, bam, there's pit road. And you see Fontaine does it, goes to the left there and goes to pit road. So now Sainz has to find a way to pull out a Red Bull lap here and see if he can pull an undercut on Fontaine. But he also might be saying, hey, you know what? You can have that pit stop right now. I'm going to hang out here, get a couple extra laps, put tires on and be fresher than you, and go catch you, which is an interesting strategy. So we'll see how this goes as Fontaine comes to pit road. Stephen Miles also in. Left side's going on as Fontaine, 14.5, good stop. Here's Miles in the Ric Flair drip. 14.4, good stop for him as they pull away, and here comes Alphin with the one lap older tires. He should fall in right behind Miles here as they climb the hill. Very short exit of pit road. There's Miles already in turn 2. Tyler Pluff-Tanyan and Sutphin to pit road here. 34.5 minutes to go. Or 34.55, I should say. All right, here comes Diego to pit road now. So let's put the map up and see where Fontaine is. Here's Fontaine coming down the S's. Already into turn 10, heading up the short chute to turn 11. You'll see him in the picture actually here in a second. Right about now. Oh, never mind, you can see him. Camera turned. Obviously, Fontaine got out of the pits and had to fly and try to get the hot lap he could get here. Here's Sainz, and Fontaine's going to pass him right now. There he goes, and here's Sainz leaving the pits and gets to go chasing now. He had a little bit of a slower pit stop there. Delta-wise, he actually had a faster pit road delta. However, 0.4 of a second slow, or 0.6 of a second slower stop than Fontaine. So we'll see if that plays the difference, as Alphin just ran the fastest lap of the race in 18:40. All right, so pit stop's done for everybody. Still got 14 cars on track. Tuckness has not returned to the track. Strayer off. Tyler Brewer off. So is Justin Michael, Ethan Gregory, Lucas Simonson, and Cedric Ingram. Unfortunately, all out of the race here. So we appreciate everybody joining us here tonight for round number 6 of this GLSR Downrange Premier, or Transport Premier Series. At Sonoma Raceway, it is the Spoiler Diecast Grand Prix. And there's Alphin starting to make the chase here, trying to catch his teammate there, Stephen Miles. He's got 8.4 seconds if he wants to even have a chance at Fontaine. Unfortunately, I think that spin that he had a little earlier in the race is going to be kind of his hindrance tonight. All right, let's roll through the field here. We'll show you where everybody is on track. Let's start with Sam Fontaine. Of course, he is the leader, looking for his first win of the season. Sam has led all but one lap now in this race, as obviously the 44 led a lap when Fontaine came to pit road. And then there is Diego Sainz right there behind him, P2. It is a 2.2 second advantage for Fontaine, and Diego does have one lap newer tires than the 77, so can he catch him? We're going to find out here soon. Fontaine could be saving tires here as I check over the lap times, and Sainz was about 0.6 faster that time by. Stephen Miles, third position for him, having a great run here. Is, you know, we've joked with him off the air. Finally got him to run a 24-hour race at Daytona. And, you know, he's one that focuses a lot on the oval stuff, but he's done a good job here on the road course today at Sonoma. And I know in a recent road course race he ran on Friday night that he actually had a pretty decent run there from what I remember too. So he's done a good job of improving on the road course side of things, running third right now. Brandon Alphin, Morgan Wallen running in the fourth position. Alex Bryson, fifth position here. Dale Earnhardt actually got his one road course win in his NASCAR career at this track at Sonoma, 1994. He passed Mark Martin on the last lap in the carousel. Jason Dalton running in the sixth position in the 2 car, looking to just have a solid run here and get out of town and head to Lucas Oil Raceway next week, or Indianapolis Raceway Park, where we'll be for race number 7. As Sean Peachin, the Mountain Dew car, the winner last season at Road America, hanging on to the 7th position right now in the Baja Blast 69 car, and probably pretty happy that this guy's not on his bumper anymore because he seemed pretty attached during that first run of the race. Cam Ingram, 8th position here. Started 8th, running 8th. Doing a good job in the 5 car. Jacob Thornton, 42 car. Jacob running in the 9th position, just running consistently. Doing a good job here. He's had a couple of rough runs lately, but doing a good job here tonight. As Blaine Sparling is actually on pit road here, and this is, believe it or not, his first stop, his only stop, as he went ahead and ran this whole entire thing out of gas and has come to pit road. And I think he's making some kind of out of the car adjustment. Let's see if he gets back in the car or if he's going to be done. But everybody else off the track, those are your 14 cars, and yep, Sparling's coming back out now. So 14 cars on the track, as there's Rosenberg and Tanya Sutphin. They seem to be attached at the bumper and cannot get away from each other, as all these cars that I mentioned are still on the lead lap of this race, other than Blaine Sparling, who just got lapped obviously on pit road. So 28 minutes to go, which is roughly about 20 laps or so. And look at what we got here. The 1 lap newer tires have caught the 77. Can Sainz make the move? Does he have to put the bumper to him? By the way, when I went through the lineup there, how everybody was running, Alfin did get past his teammate Steven Miles for third. Let's show it real quick while these two potentially have a battle here. Oh, I think Miles just kind of let him go. He knew Alfin was quicker, went down through 3A and into turn 4, and there was the pass. So great job there. Back to this battle. And you know what? I'm not going to roll Alfin out of this race. He was down 8 seconds at one point and is down to 5.8 between Alfin and Fontaine. You're going to see Brandon right there going through turn 4. I mean, we might have ourselves a 3-car battle for the lead of this race soon. I don't have an answer for you. I've talked to Brandon about it many times, and as I would expect to, hasn't given me like that full answer of, dude, why are you so good here? You know? Of course, this would be the perfect race for Brandon to go get a win in. You bring up a road course, you think back to that truck race at Red Bull, where competition caution comes out. That was going on at that point. Brandon stays out, runs the car completely out of gas, comes to pit road, and takes 2 tires and ends up, I don't even remember where he finished. It wasn't good. But I know I've kind of picked on him at times about it, and others have. But if he could go to victory lane and get that race out of his mind, not have to worry about it anymore, I'm sure he'd feel good about it. Fontaine about wiped it out there. Gonna have some lap traffic. As you see, Sutphin has gone by the 91 car. And Dylan's going to yield to the right here and let them go by. If you ever get a chance to, I suggest you check out the NASCAR Classics, either on their website or on the YouTube channel, and go watch one of the races from like the mid-90s or early 90s. Or, you know what, a good one to watch would be the old Ricky Rudd, Rusty Wallace race, which was the first race here at Sonoma back in 88, I believe. It was 88 or 89. And look at the way the track was back then, because you had hills everywhere around this track. They've knocked down all the hills, and you used to have cars that would wreck here that would go catapulting over the hills and flipping, and just some ridiculous looking wrecks. And of course they went to work and have turned it into a classy facility, a great facility. The only thing now I wish they would do, as I mentioned earlier, race here during the spring. Because the grass right now in Sonoma is beautiful looking before it obviously turns to this because of the lack of rain to get out there. As Blaine Sparling on pit road here is Tanyan Sutphin not helping his teammate out there. The best thing that happened there was Diego had a little issue getting through the corner, and allows Fontaine to get by. He's often working his way up there through just past Rosenberg. He's got Tanyan Sutphin, and after that, it's back to these three. And You still got about 20 seconds before these two will get to another lap car. So plenty of room here for Pluff to, for Sainz to potentially make a move. And he's got to run through 10 here. Gets a little free. That's going to hurt his run. I wonder how much short track magic Fontaine is using in the middle of these corners. Potentially maybe a slight little bit of a brake check, if you will, through the corner to kind of stop the momentum of the car behind you. Easier said than done to pull off, but somebody like Fontaine I could see doing it as Sainz crosses over here through 2, but again not able to get that foot down. Alphin has got it down to about 4.9 seconds, but it's kind of stalled out there for the 21 car. Third gear up to turn 1 and into turn 2. By the way, Jonathan Tuckness has returned to the track, and he just passed Cam Ingram for 13th. Make that 14th, so getting another spot, just out there logging some laps. I think he just got the damage fixed on his car. That's probably why he was on pit road that second time around. I was wondering what was going on. I did notice that damage, and it must have been a lot worse than it looked. Less than 20 minutes to go. And a reminder, of course, with this being a Spoiler Diecast Grand Prix, you can click in the broadcast information down below on the screen, and you will see the code GLSR. You can type in and go purchase a diecast car from Spoiler Diecast and get 5% off and free shipping. Anything over $20. So make sure you check that out right now. SpoilerDiecast.com is the website. The link is all right there. Set it up for you so you can go do that. Appreciate them for coming on board the series as of last week, and of course being a sponsor of the race tonight. So did Diego hurt the tires? He's fallen back 0.6 of a second now. Oh, and Tuckness is still having issues. Goes for a lazy slide right in front of Alphin. And unfortunately, we will not be seeing the moon roll or moonwalk or whatever we're calling that celebration he started doing. We'll go back here to Joey Lattistour because we might have ourselves a battle here for the 9th position shaping up as we jump to the rear of the car. And there's Tyler Pluff, who's catching the 23 car. Battle here is about now 1.4 seconds, so I think Pluff's made a couple mistakes there, as you saw through the turn 3 and 3A up to turn 4 section here. A lot of Sora's been able to drive away. Yeah, look at that. That car's drifting through the corner right there. Sutphin, Tanyan Sutphin has got 3 seconds up on Rosenberg now. Ladisor by 1.1 over Pluff. Everybody else is mostly behind by a pretty good distance until you get to this battle right there. I mean, what is Fontaine's lead? I think the biggest lead been all night. The 2 seconds after the pit stop. I mean, otherwise he's had a car at his bumper the whole entire time. Got a good run through 4. So one thing I've read, by the way, about Sonoma with the repave that they've done, I don't know what truth there is to it or whatever, but it sounds like they've actually modified the hairpin a little bit. It's not that symmetrical circle or hairpin, whatever you want to call it right here. It is more now of a sharper turn, per se, to where I guess the entry is kind of the same, but it's more of a sharper angle, I guess, coming out of the corner instead of it looping all the way around. So I'm curious to see what that looks like. I mean, this is what makes drivers good. Practice, and I mean, Al Fontaine's been able to hold off multiple battles for over an hour now in this race, and I mean, I don't know what moves Diego has left. He's got to have probably something in the bank if he needs it, and maybe it's the front end. I mean, not that you want to win a race that way, but it's a playoff spot right in front of you. Oh, Bryson has wrecked it. Oh, no. That's over near where Dale Jr. had his wreck back in 2001. What, 62 minutes of a great race from Bryson, and is gone for naught, unfortunately. To the S, he must have hit a curve wrong here. Oh, that looked awkward. Like he was starting to spin before the car even hit the curve. Oh, car got hung up or something there. But it got really high in the RPMs, and the wheel spin brought the car around, it looks like. Oh, that stinks for Bryson. All right, so the leaders have put a lap on Tyler Pluff. Alfin back here, third position for him. And obviously Jason Dalton now moving up into the top 5 with that situation happening. Now you got a one. Here's a lot of sword cutting some grass. Pluff just had an off a second ago. You got to wonder now if fatigue is going to start kicking in. The way these guys have had to handle this car around this track for an hour straight. I think this is the part of the race where a mistake is probably easier to make than ever. And when it comes to a race like this, you got to stay focused. You're paying attention to the time. You're trying to get lap cars out of the way. You're still trying to hit your marks. Oh, by the way, the track's rubbered up now. Boink. Oh, here we go with the fender. Oh, he almost ran him over there. Bryson had to, or Sainz had to get out of it big time there. And thank you, viewers, for watching tonight, by the way. Appreciate everybody joining us. Again, if you're new to the chat, hit that subscribe button if you're not new. We appreciate you coming back and joining us as Ladisor goes a lap down. Maybe a slight aid there to his teammates, Fontaine, as Sainz caught him at the wrong spot. It's always best to catch a lap car entering the corner, not on exit. Sainz is still digging. Alfin has got it back down under 5 seconds, but I think it's pretty neutral right now between all three of these cars. And the question is, can Sainz force that 77 into a mistake? And all of them are driving a tail out of this car now. Stephen Miles doing a good job, 4th position for him. Looks like he'll get another top 5 and help himself in the points. Jason Dalton, top 5 for him. Got a long ways back to Sean Peachin, who's almost back in San Francisco. In the 6th position there. Jacob Thornton has been smooth. 7th position for the 42 car. Looking for a good points day. Of course, Ladisor now lapped down with Tyler Pluff, Sutton, Rosenberg, Blaine Sparling still out there on track. And just when Fontaine thinks, I got rid of him. No, you didn't. So cool to just watch these cars go at it. It looks like Diego's doing a better job center. But by kind of slowing it down, Fontaine's able to launch out. I mean, does Diego dare try to diamond the corner maybe there? Does he try to go in, let the car slide up and then try to cut under Fontaine out of the corner? You got about roughly 4 laps left. And Fontaine's got it out to a second, so Diego obviously made a big mistake somewhere there in that little part. If it was just getting loose, or maybe Fontaine just had a good set of corners. Thornton going to yield to the leaders. I feel like that Sainz is overdriving his car now a little bit. And Alfin put 2 off just now. And maybe even spun the car over here. Miles too far back, though. Looks like about 3 seconds still. So Alfin out there on his own little island right now. Complete lap 52, 4.5 minutes. You do the math, about 1:20. You might get 4 laps here, 3 or 4 at the most. That's the one tricky part about a timed race, is I get to play the game of when's the final lap? Unfortunately, I don't have like race officials in my ear saying, oh, it's going to be the final lap here, kind of like they do on TV or whatnot. It's just literally paying attention and seeing what's going on. Yeah, these times are pretty much stabilized here amongst the two. I mean, Sainz has knocked off about 1/10 in the last lap. Valiant effort by both these guys, though. Miles has knocked down the time from Alfin to him to 1.4. So we might have teammates battling here for Laser Racing for 3rd before this thing's over with. Again, we invite you next week to join us at Indianapolis Raceway Park, Lucas Oil Raceway, whatever you want to call it. Round number 7 of this Downrange Transport Premier Series. And that just shy of 3/4 mile short track. We'll go live about 8:45 as usual, as we get a few short tracks kind of lined up here in the next few weeks. Should be 2 laps to go this time by. And that lead, as I mentioned, is kind of stabilized at 1.1 now. If Miles has got anything for Alphen, and if Sainz has anything for Fontaine, they're going to probably need to use it now. I say that as Sainz just knocked off 3/10 up through turn 2. I don't know where that came from. Did he cool his tires off, maybe? Miles has got it within a second on Alphen, and it's getting real close now. Here comes Miles on him. I think Diego's made a couple mistakes because now the lead is out to 1.4 seconds. There's the white flag. It's waving, so final lap. Diego Sainz did everything he could. And unfortunately, I think he just ran out of tires and ran out of laps, and Fontaine has found a way once again to hold off a car behind him on a road course, just like he did a couple seasons ago when he won at the Roval. And tonight he's done a masterful job of just leading laps and dominating this race, even though it was not an easy one. As it'll be another season with Fontaine going to the playoffs as he comes through the final turn, turn number 12, and it is Fontaine winning the Spoiler Diecast Grand Prix at Sonoma over Diego Sainz. Brandon Alphen and Miles gonna fight it for third. And it will go to Alphen. Miles finishing fourth. As it looks like 6 cars will finish on the lead lap in the end. Jason Dalton and Sean Peachin will be those last 2 to cross the line here. So I mentioned Fontaine, one of the winningest drivers in series history. Of course, the numbers kind of reset themselves a little bit with when they swapped over to this car. And he's going to go out here and celebrate. course, on the Premier Series side, this is win number 7 for Fontaine. You add those up with the wins from the Truck Series. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, obviously I can't officially say it. I know the record was a tie between Ricky Springer and Zach Allman. That Fontaine's probably the winningest driver now in series history. As he parks it there at the start-finish line. And let's take a look at the finishing results here at Sonoma. As Fontaine wins it by 2.1 seconds over Signs. Alphen third, Miles fourth, Dalton fifth, Peachin, Thornton, Ladisseur, Tyler Pluff, and Tanyan Sutphin getting a top 10. Good job by Tanyan. Dylan Rosenberg 11th, Blaine Sparling 12th, Jonathan Tuckness 13th, Alex Bryson and Cam Ingram finishing 14th and 15th. Lucas Strayer, Tyler Brewer, Justin Michael, Ethan Gregory, Lucas Simonson, and Cedric Ingram finishing in the 21st position here tonight, unfortunately for him. As we'll go down and talk to drivers. We'll get at least, yeah, it looks like we'll get the top 3 tonight. As Brandon Alphen some reason I'm having trouble here. Let me get I'm gonna get him. There we go. Just having trouble moving people there. Sorry to interrupt you guys there. I saw y'all were talking, but Brandon, obviously top 3, man. I know this is that track. It's like, all right, this is Alphen territory here at Sonoma. You had that little spin, obviously early in the race. Is that one you're gonna look back at and be like, man, that cost me?
Yeah, that's what me and Diego was actually talking about. I went back and watched the replay, and yeah, I was trying to get out in front. I was kind of maybe pushing a little bit too hard, just because I know Sonoma's a tough place to pass, and so I saw he kind of bobbled, and I just kind of wheel hopped it, and, just kind of the rear end kind of came around on me, and that's what, like I said, going to look back on it, but still happy to get a top 3. Needed it for a good points day and stuff, so I can't really complain too much.
Was there any kind of chairs thrown anywhere after that spin?
Yeah, there's one off my balcony. That's what I just got up and walked in there, so I had to let it out. But my Washington Police Department don't know about it yet, so we're not as big as Broadway. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might only have like a few police officers in that town. You might get away with this one. Obviously, man, obviously good to hear a smile still after that kind of a deal. How tough? I mean, how tired are we right now? How tough of a race was that?
Oh, that's what me and Diego, that's what we were talking about too. It's a long race. I mean, even there, the last 6 or 7 laps, I mean, you just kind of zone out. And, I didn't realize that I was in second already, and I downshifted to first and spun again coming up. I think it's like turn 5 or 6 or whatever it is. And you just kind of zone out. And I think Bryson did. Yeah. I mean, it's just real easy to do, especially I don't think maybe, even our team chat, which we're not chatty Cathy's, but we talk quite a bit on ovals and stuff, and that it's kind of road courses, just one little mistake. And I mean, even the hairpin, you could get caught up in the tires if you hit it, and be stuck there and run your race. So, it's just kind of tough to keep focus. But, like I said, we got a good top 3 finish, and then, Miles finished P4 that I'm not sure where Bryson ended up finishing. I know 14th. He had a good car in 14th. Yeah, I know he had a good car, and wish that wouldn't have happened to him. But overall, it was a good day.
There you go, man. Great job tonight. Send some shout outs.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to teammates, Steve Miles, Alex Bryson over at Laser. So hopefully, another good team points day as well. And Bryson and I were trying. We were hoping one of us was going to get a win tonight to secure our spot in the playoffs. I know it gets a little bit tense, but shout out to them. And then also shout out to you, Skylar. We appreciate everything you do. I want to make sure that that you're appreciated. So, I definitely, it's going to be fun to go back and watch this one. Hopefully there's some Morgan Wallen jokes in there on the broadcast. I thought about it. I thought I'd give you a good one. I mean, hey, if anybody wants some paint schemes too. I could make you some. It took me about 30 seconds. So a little drop and drive, baby.
Little whiskey
So
glasses tonight, probably in the end.
yeah, yeah. I know. Well, that's what it's ironic. I put poor me on the side
Right.
right there. That's how I feel. So we're gonna go. But like I said, appreciate you, Scala.
All right, buddy.
Thanks again for everything you do, man.
No, appreciate it, man. Brandon Alphin finishing into third position here tonight, and he's going to go sing some tunes. So, obviously, good to see him, the positive spirit there after that finish. And Diego Sainz, unfortunately, falls up a little bit short here tonight. Tried every little thing you could outside of, and even then you made contact a couple times, but I don't think it was any kind of, you were actually trying to put the bumper to him at that moment. But just a little bit short there in second.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it again. This is my Texas. You know Texas. I was the fastest one there. Hit strategy, but this time it was just Sam playing the best defense I have ever seen anybody play. Like, it was insane. I was like, okay, I can get past him here. Nope, block my line. Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't want to wreck, bro. That was like the last ditch effort, and I wasn't even gonna do that then because I just don't race like that. But it was a lot of fun.
That's all that matters, man. What I mean, obviously you try the pit strategy. You're up there battling, and I mean, you could just see. I mean, there's times I'm on board your car and I'm watching you just sawing the wheel. How you feeling right now?
Arms hurt, just a little bit.
Little jelly.
Yeah, it's my pitching arm that's like that's kind of
yeah,
hurting.
that'll do it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my legs are feeling good. I mean, I'm just happy that after these past couple of bad races I've had, this is finally like I get top 3. This is all I want. I want to keep this streak going.
Well, good job so far here. P2, obviously, as you go to a short track next week in Indianapolis, but I know how bad you probably wanted this one, but send some shout outs whoever you like to.
I want to shout out the Gunslingers team. Camo, I know it's not your season, bro, but I appreciate everything you and your dad has done. I want to shout out you, Chris. Can't wait to watch this. Oh my god, the battle between me and Sam. That's gonna be great content. Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna go buy camo dinner.
Man, I got to.
Yeah, he needs
It's just he needs it. I got him. Don't worry about it. And shout out to the officials of the race. You know, it's the league. Sean, Sam, Tyler. Shout out Sam. The most fun I've ever had in a GLSR race. That was awesome.
Most fun second place finish you'll probably ever have. So, great
Yeah,
job.
I'm just happy I got top 3.
There you go. Great job, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Don't let me find out you went to like McDonald's or something. Yeah,
I'm a bit of a cook.
That a boy.
I'm making fajitas tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm on my way. Say, how far is it to
Oh.
Houston? Anyways,
Oh.
anyways. He gone. He even threw a little play in there. I just heard. I thought. All right. Which I still don't get what the hell that means. Anyways, all right. Let's talk to our winner. He's one of 3 people left in Discord. Joey Lattisaur is the other one, and then there's me. Sam Fontaine goes to victory lane here tonight. Sam, as you add on to what I assume is your winning total, winningest driver in this series history now in GLSR, but obviously your 7th win in the B car here, at least from the Sim Racer Hub references. Obviously, you dominate when it comes to leading laps, but you had a car in your tail the whole entire race. Or 2.
Yeah, man. I mean, early on, Alphen was really there. Like, if he didn't do his mistake, beside like Diego, I think he was a guy to beat, and he would have run away with it. The whole time, I was trying my best to do my stuff, not trying to take away anything from anyone, but at the same time, like trying to keep my line be smooth. I knew where I was fast on the track and where the other guy were catching, and Diego like was all over my rear bumper for 2-3 quarter of the race. So yeah, just manage it. He was so fast in turn 2 and compared to me, but I like in the airpin, but I could manage like the rest of the track pretty good. So I was trying my best to gap him where I could, and at the end we achieved it. Kept the car straight the whole race, and in one piece.
Yeah, I mean, obviously being able to do that, and I think back to the race in Charlotte a couple of seasons ago with Jonathan, and obviously you doing a pit strategy there and holding him off. you did that for like 10 laps. This one you had to do for literally 55 laps.
Yeah, that was a great race. I'm really, I'm really tired after that one for sure. I had to wheel it, and the big thing is like the patience. It's super easy to overdo it, and on a track like this, going up and down, the lack of grip on throttle, like if you did one mistake, you'd pay like so much. I slid through the airpin a couple times, and it almost cost me the lead and probably the win. And yeah, just minimizing the mistake was like a big challenge. So
The one thing I have to say, I'm disappointed in you on one thing. You had all the places do the burnouts, and you didn't go down the drag strip.
man, I wanted to, but I wanted the checker flag too, so I decided to park it on the start finish.
Nice job, man. Send some
uh,
shout outs whoever you like to.
hey, thanks, man. Shout out to all my teammates. Did pretty great all race long. I mean, everyone bring the car in one piece and had their pretty much their best result on a road course. So it's really cool. And shout out to those guys behind, like Brendan, Diego, Miles, like and then anyone else who showed up tonight. Like they all did a great job. It was a tough race to race at, and for the most part, everyone stayed clean and did their best. So shout out to them. All the sponsor, DRT, sponsoring the league, and obviously you for your magnificent broadcast.
I heard a little groove come out of you there.
Yes, sir.
Nice. All right, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks, man.
You too. Sam Fontaine, the winner tonight here at Sonoma, as he continues to add on to his record here in GLSR and puts himself into the playoffs yet again, becoming the fourth winner this season, along with Tuckness, with Michael, and also with Stephen Miles, who have been to victory lane here this season in the series. So great job to Fontaine, as we'll move him down to the only other person in the Discord channel, and that's Joey Ladisor. So, yeah, fantastic race. I mean, obviously, a lot of laps there, and 75 minutes of hard work, and Fontaine has moved himself into the playoff spot, as I mentioned. And let me pause here for just a split second, and I will show you the point standings and the grid as it lines up now. I just have to do a little cutting and pasting and snipping and snapping and different kinds of things here. And big shout out to, by the way, to Downrange Transport, as Sam mentioned, also to, of course, Spoiler Diecast for their sponsorship of tonight's race. I'm gonna. Yep. Okay. Looks like it's all loaded here. So here we go. Point standings entering next week at Indianapolis Raceway Park. As you see, Fontaine's name now has joined the picture of winners, and Tyler Pluff now the best of the rest, as he is fifth in points, following up that rookie season last year, doing a great job. Lucas Strayer, Brandon Alphin, 7th. Diego Sainz moves up 4 spots to 8th. And right there on the bubble, Jason Dalton, who moves up 6 spots to 12th in the race. So great job by him, as we will battle on to Lucas Oil Raceway or Indianapolis Raceway Park coming next week. So we appreciate everybody for joining us here on the Captain Esports Network. We head out, and always remember, this isn't just a game, it's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports